Coming up on Valley News Live at 6, the back and forth political tug of war over mask mandates continues in Bismarck.
Plus, they're called long haulers. Meet a Fargo woman whose struggles with COVID won't end.
And paying last respects to Daunte Wright. Valley News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 6.
Governor Doug Burgum's veto of a bill restricting him, future governors, and the state health officers from enacting mask mandates didn't sit well with lawmakers in Bismarck.
The State House overrode that veto this afternoon, leaving the bill's fate to the Senate. Joining us now with a deeper dive into what this means for every North Dakotan is Valley News team's Stacey Van Dyke. Stacey?
Andrea, Mike, this is all happening right now. The Senate took up that mask mandate bill again within the last hour, and they've decided to override the governor's veto. That means it's now a law, surpassing the governor entirely. Throughout the past month, supporters of the bill made their opinions known, stationing themselves both inside and outside the Capitol to tell lawmakers they don't want mask mandates. The governor's veto was no surprise, though, as it would limit his powers to impose a mandate.
The mask mandate is a local control issue. Businesses also have the right to decide if they want a mask mandate or not.
The governor's veto came at an interesting time, though. He vetoed the bill the same day he announced that the state of emergency for COVID-19, which we've been in for more than a year, will be lifted next week. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Stacey.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, healthcare facilities in the Valley are aiming to find treatment and relief for those known as COVID long haulers.
They want to start up new programs and clinics for the 25% of people who contracted COVID-19 and continue to suffer from lingering symptoms. Experts say some long haulers deal with their side effects for weeks, while others are in agony for months. Valley News team's Bailey Hurley spoke with a Fargo woman who shares her battle and her excitement on the potential of relief.
Kathy Gerard Underdahl was diagnosed with COVID-19 last month after what she felt like was an oncoming heart attack, saying her nearly 2-week battle with the virus was anything but easy.
Short of breath, chest hurt, super nauseous, very fatigued, just ugh.
It's been nearly 5 weeks now, but Gerard Underdahl is still struggling. The worst symptom, an almost debilitating pain and pressure in her head and ears.
Like people or somebody's like squeezing my head together right here. Like it's just horrible.
Another one of her symptoms, and one local doctors say many post-COVID patients have, is the smelling of smoke or of something burning when inhaling.
So I started wearing a bandana and I put essential oil on here. And then so like if it's really intense some days, I'll just start sniffing essential oils because I can't stand the smell.
And she says of the multiple times she's been to the doctor,
everything is checking out perfect. They don't know what's going on.
But local healthcare providers say that's about to change, as Essentia Health is now rolling out their post-COVID rehab program.
We need to identify what the baseline was with those patients, what they were doing prior to becoming ill, and then B, how we're going to get them back there. And then if we can't treat them or it's outside of our realm of expertise, we'll direct them to the person who is the expert.
And Sanford Health says they're working on rolling out a clinic for long haulers as well.
Sometimes they'll need pulmonary rehab, sometimes they'll need long-term oxygen, sometimes they'll need to see a neurologist, or sometimes they just need physical therapy to build up their endurance.
Making it easier for those like Gerard Underdahl to get the specific help and relief needed to get back their quality of life. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Sanford's Dr. Nagpal says it typically takes 4 to 6 weeks to recover from COVID-19, saying if you still have symptoms after that, to reach out to your doctor. And if you are a COVID long hauler, you can find contact information for Essentia's new program on our VNL News app. Just click on this story.
Meanwhile, troubles of a different kind for a Minnesota woman who is showing the same signs as others who have had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We talked with this woman this afternoon, and we'll have her story tonight on Valley News Live at 10.
What a wonderful weather day it's been. If you haven't already, you might want to take some time to enjoy the outdoors. Let's find out from Hutch what conditions will be like this evening. Hutch?
Well, as you can see on our Skycam network here in the Devil's Lake location at Home of Economy, we're keeping our eyes on the moon. It's shaking a little bit. We have some gusty south winds, but all in all, we need to get out and enjoy. Changes are in the offing. Here is a look at what we're seeing as far as temperatures go across the region. The warmest weather as forecast in the Northern Valley, 66 now in Hallock, 59 Oaks, 61 Detroit Lakes and Fergus Falls, Bemidji at that same reading. Hey, northeast South Dakota about to see some moderate showers of rain push in towards Watertown. That'll be drifting in our general direction as the clouds increase. Our air mass over us right now is extremely dry, so not everyone is going to see that rain shower activity. In Fargo, we'll have increasing clouds and 50s all the way through the 8 o'clock hour. Then after that, we slip down into the 40s on a cloudy night. Changes by morning could include some flakes of snow. We want to remind you that we remain under a red flag warning. With the wind, the dry vegetation, fire could quickly get out of control. I'll have details on who will see flakes and when as we go through some wintry return here in a minute.
Okay, thanks, Sach.
Police say a man was stabbed last night in Bemidji after another man stole his portable speaker. It happened near the 300 block of Minnesota Avenue. Investigators say they pulled a car over for speeding in that area, and the driver said he witnessed the stabbing in the 100 block of 3rd Street Northwest and was trying to get the victim, later identified as 38-year-old Donald Pepworth, to the hospital. Police later found 24-year-old Chase Kerrigan, who say he looked like he had been assaulted. Kerrigan told him that Pepworth stole his portable speaker, so he stabbed him. Charges have been referred to the Beltrami County Attorney's Office for assault and robbery.
Fargo police are warning you about a scam that's going on in the area. A person called their department saying they received a phone call from someone claiming to be with Fargo police regarding a class action lawsuit filed against them. The recording asks them to press 1, and the number that pops up is a 701 area code. The Fargo Police Department says they would never call you regarding a class action lawsuit or warrants or unpaid fines.
Minnesota's health department says a 6th school staff member has died of a COVID-19 infection linked directly to schools. The total number of cases of students and staff members now surpassed 21,000. Also, the number of cases in Minnesota schools is approaching the same levels reached back in November when many districts switched to distance learning.
Also in Minnesota today, the Minnesota State High School League announced that masks are no longer required for student athletes who are competing in outdoor sports and practices. Masks will still need to be worn when athletes are not actively practicing or playing and cannot maintain social distancing.
From Bismarck tonight, the North Dakota Senate has sustained Governor Burgum's veto of the transgender sports bill. Last night, the governor also vetoed a bill restricting transgender athletes. Well, today that bill was revived when the House overturned the veto on a 68-25 vote. The governor vetoed the bill, saying it would cause unforeseen consequences.
Hundreds of people arrived at a church in Minneapolis this afternoon to pay their respects and say one last goodbye to Daunte Wright. Civil rights leaders and state lawmakers were in attendance today. Reverend Al Sharpton delivered his eulogy, calling Wright a prince.
Heard a man say, "I've not seen a funeral procession like this since Prince in Minneapolis." I said, well, we came to bury the Prince of Brooklyn Center.
The officer who shot Wright virtually appeared in court last week. She is scheduled to appear in person next month.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, good information coming up regarding what you can and cannot recycle.
And on this Earth Day, we remember a few things that we can do to pitch in. Reduce, reuse, recycle, conserve water, plant a tree, or bike when you can. Weather beautiful as we close out our Thursday night, but big time changes are in the offing as we begin Friday. Flakes will be back in the forecast for some. Your details are next.